So,
and I think that's kind of a good point to mention, because I've started working with some football guys outside of here as well.
Yeah.
And I have two groups. I have the high school group, who is very focused, very locked in.
Yep.
And then I have the middle school group, who I have a group of 5.
never bring a loaded gun.
And it's like just like pulling cats off the ceiling.
Oh my God.
It's like they don't know where their body is, like
Yeah.
everything. But I've taken a lot, and I was at a seminar that you and Dave had. It was I think it was at OSU. Was
Yes.
it you were talking on stage about the team, and I incorporated a lot of just getting them to fucking roll around and like bear crawl and just kind of understand that shit. And they get so much more out of that than the majority of the rest of the work, because that's the shit that they need to learn the most, and they need to build that.
Well,
right?
you can't do calculus until you do algebra.
Right.
And so even this year, the way we structured the off season, we have a physical, the PT. We have 10 minutes of PT work, and I decide what we're going to do. And we do a lot of bodyweight squats and push-ups and chin-ups, a ton. And just having bodyweight squats in there, and some of these kids in 10 minutes, they'll do, one kid did 250 squats and 120 push-ups in 10 minutes. And those squats, you have to, like I am a stickler, you have to stand all the way up. You can't just pump out your, you're a bodybuilder doing the hack squat. Yeah, like I'm feeling the muscle. So everything has to be, push-ups have to be all the way up, all the way down, stuff like that. And I couldn't believe, I originally did it because it's been so crappy here. We can't run, so I need something to kind of train. And it's like, well, these kids, like, body weight stuff's not going to hurt them. Like, it's not like they're like if we did it when Westside, it wouldn't be smart. But our jumping got better. Our our barbell squats got better. Everything got better. And I was like, holy shit, this is what they need. And so it's been, we do a ton of calisthenics too as part of our warm up. But it's been like I said, you start to realize that there's no need to do this if you can't do this. And our standard is 50 push-ups. If you can't do 50 push-ups, do you really want that guy next to you on the field who can't do a 50 I mean, you're 16 years old, so you can't be that fat and weak. And so like that, when we raised our expectations, everything went up. We had a 330-pound kid not be able to do a chin-up, can now do 3. And another 325-pound kid couldn't do a chin-up at all. Now he can do 1, and it's just like we just pound the shit out of the basics. And it's always nice, like you see occasionally like on social media, all these advanced warm-ups, like the kids just need to learn how to fucking jump. Why do we care so much about your external rotation retraction if you can't even do a setup? Or whatever. I just ate, so
that works.
But Dave, it's been, I've said this before, it's been the best thing I ever did. I finally feel like I have like I know this is going to sound really bad. I know like as me and you or parents, like that's supposed to be our, that should be enough for us. We're dads, right? That should be all we need. Well, no, it doesn't work like that. I need to have more purpose. And I need to have kind of a more global purpose. And I don't say global, just more than just my team, so to speak. And I feel like I actually have a purpose now. I get up and we were talking before, like, the day of training, my wife and I always make fun of the person who has to train, like, you got to go in and deal with the ding dongs. But I feel like I have purpose now. And I think it's as much as obviously, I've done some good stuff with the kids and the community, but I feel like they've given back to me tenfold. And it's been good for me. Plus, being able to call your own shots, Dave, you can't put money on that. And what I mean by that is if anyone works in the college and pro sports stuff, you have a ton of limitations, and you're hamstrung a lot of either by the unions or NCAA regulations or whatever. So being part of this, you can kind of do what you want and, not have to answer to really anyone, so to speak, at least anything political. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to go in there and take a dump on the floor and be like, why is this a big deal? It was solid.
But that's one of those things that I think if you get to see them as potentially a middle schooler all the way up to graduating, so you see them change and develop, and you are having a tremendous impact on their trajectory in life.
Yeah, I hope I do. And, the most insane thing is when you see the maturity from like junior year to senior year. There's always like for most of the guys, there's a point where like, now you get it, huh? He's like, yeah, now I realize why our toes have to be behind the line. Like this is important. Like this little thing's important, or this, or they understand training. I finally had one kid last year really understand. And we were talking about something like, listen, I'm going to lower some of your weights. Are you okay with that? Because he's a super strong kid. Like there's two kids I've coached that when you see an explosive, strong dude who's has good intra and intermuscular coordination, where he does a deadlift and you can just see him bind up and get taut, and then, do you know what I'm saying? Instead of like, he understood. He's like, I don't care. I know exactly what we're doing here. He's like, I understand bar speed. I understand that I don't need to lift X, Y, and Z to get to this. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I totally get it now. He's like, we're fine. And then he ended up deadlifting 600 for 5. I'm like,
there you go.
And it's no mistake that he was one of the defensive players of the year.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy numbers regardless of weight room, regardless of sport.
Yeah.
Like, that's just strong. That's fucking strong.
He is and not just that, his maturity, just emotional maturity and just social maturity is incredible. He's got that Vietnam stare occasionally, though. He looks at you like, holy shit. I remember, when you're on the sideline, sometimes it's hard to see the game. You're at the ground level. So 2 years ago, that kid was he was on like a D tackle, D lineman. And I was like, I'm just going to watch him this play, He hit this kid off the line so hard. This kid's neck snapped all the way back. He fell on his head. And the first thing I thought as a dad, I'm like, God, that's someone's son. Oh, boy. Oh, it's embarrassing. I mean, he got rocked.
Fucking ragdoll.
And I was like, how is this the poor kid's got to just fake an injury and get out of there, man. Because, before you deadlift, you always grab the hamstring. 2 weeks out, buddy, I was dehydrated. You always have an excuse planned. Or just, 225 speed work. You don't even, right here.
Got cramp.
Yeah. Last Sunday, you don't even know.
Yeah. I didn't tear it, but it's cramping really bad. Something's going on.
Turned a little black and blue. I put what was that stuff we used to inject?
Saline.
Besides steroids? No, there's the other stuff that Ben Johnson used.
The hydrogen peroxide and saline, the Trammel.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah. I remember that didn't work. Nothing works. Dude, saline hurts.
Saline.
Now, what was the
does that hurt?
Purpose or benefit of that?
It's supposed to repair. Because everything we eat is salt, so we fucking just put it in there.
Exactly.